afternoon, and I am the Angry Cook. Today, I've been looking forward to doing this for a while. We're going to be doing a stuffed pork loin that's going to be done on the grill outside. And I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be phenomenal. We're also going to be doing an onion gravy with it. That goes back to our bangers and mash episode for that recipe. And the best pan sauce I ever tasted, the caramelized onions, basically, which is what it is. So, what's in this whole gizmo? This is the marinade. We have 2 to 3 pound pork loin. You can make it bigger. Hang on. We have the grilled pork loin, 2 to 3 pounds. We have our first layer, which is a sage breakfast sausage. I was hoping for Jimmy Dean. They didn't have any, so I'm using Bob Evans. Use whatever you can find. If you can't find sage sausage, get regular breakfast sausage, sprinkle sage over it, dried sage. Cream cheese goes on top of that, room temperature. On top of that, we're going to put, we're going to layer spinach. On top of that, we're going to slice mushrooms and add those. Then, we're going to roll it all up. We're going to butterfly this guy. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we're going to make a basket weave out of thin bacon. And then, after we roll this guy, we're going to roll this guy in the basket weave bacon. And then we're going to put it out on the grill at about 325 for probably, we're going to go to about 150 or so, so probably a couple hours, I would think. First thing we have to do is marinade. We're going to put all our stuff in a bag. We're not going to go through dirtying a bowl to combine things and then throw it in a bag, and I just don't do that crap. So let's take a look at what we need. We need 3 cloves of garlic. I'm using 4 because these are kind of smallish and thinnish. We have 2 tablespoons extra virgin olive oil. We have 1/3 of a cup of soy sauce. Quarter of a cup of Dijon mustard. Teaspoon of kosher salt. Half a teaspoon of coarse ground pepper. A tablespoon of apple cider vinegar for our acid. And 2 tablespoons of honey for a little sweetness. So let's get cracking. He said confidently. Alright, let's do the dry stuff first and get it out of the way. Fold the rim back on your bag. Make the stand a little bit better. You could also use a 4-cup measuring cup and put this inside it. Also works very well. I've done both. As you can see, I'm doing 1. Teaspoon of kosher salt. We're just going to add solids. Dry stuff. Dry stuff first. I think I've already commented on this gimmick of being able to do this with both grind the salt and the pepper. Half a teaspoon of that guy. And that works really well. I really like it. What else do we need in here? Sure. Let's do our garlic. Made the mistake the other day of putting a bowl right in front of here while I was doing stuff. Can't get good help today. Let's throw that. Remember I told you way back when, don't use the blade of your knife to pick things up? I still see people, alleged professional chefs, doing that, just scraping away, wearing their edge away. I do something different. I use my bench scraper, or I use the other side of the knife. the blunt side, the spine side. Works just as well. Come on, you! Alright. And then 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We're not going to measure that. 1, 2, third of a cup. Third of a cup of this guy. And I'm just about at the end of my, we're just going to pour it all in there. Because that's damn close to it. 1/4 cup of Dijon. Tablespoon of apple cider vinegar for acid. You can use anything for your acid. You can use lemon, lime. I happen to have this. That's what I'm using. And what's next? 2 tablespoons of honey. 1, 2. Garlic down in there. Let's combine this nicely. Just gonna press it all together. Don't need a mixing bowl. Don't need the utensils to do this. You could measure if you wanted to. I decided not to. We're going to refrigerate this for excuse me, for 1 or 2 hours. And then we move on to our butterflying and stuffing. We're going to check for fat because we're using the bacon. We don't need a lot of fat on this. That's all okay. I'm going to shove it in there. Get the air out. Come on. Sticky pork fingers don't help. Or it's not sticky. Slimy pork fingers. There we go. We're going to make sure that we got this all nice and incorporated. We're going to try to turn this about every half hour if we remember. But the reason we're getting this all incorporated right now is so if we don't remember, it's not going to hurt it. So an hour or 2 in the fridge to marinate, and then we proceed from there. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, we've been in the fridge for about an hour and a half or so. Marinated, so we're ready to bring it on out. We're going to dry it off. Garlicky everywhere. All right. Okay, I'm not using my favorite knife. I'm using a smaller knife so we can do this a little better. A little more accurately. So we're going to take right about here. I'm going to go through it. Now we're not going the whole way through the loin. Remember that. We're going to open it like a book. And I'm going to continue to turn this so I can see basically, so I don't screw this up too badly. You can't really mess this up too much. So we already got this guy. Now we're going to go here. See the thickness, about twice as thick here. And we're going to go on this side. And voila. Doesn't get any easier than that, does it? So we're going to pound it out a little bit to make everything nice and flat in the same diameter. Same diameter? No. Same thickness. Words are coming difficult today. I don't know why. So we're going to put a length of plastic wrap underneath and a length of plastic wrap on top. Damn it. There we go. Alright. Holy shnikes. Come on. Don't fight me. We want cut side up. Alright. Let's pound this. If you've got a regular hammer type, that'll work too. Rolling pin. I think we're about done. Alright. And it's reaching over my little cutting board here. Alright. Let's get our sausage. If you're a fan of breakfast sausage, you know how much better the sage variety is than just regular sausage. At least in my family it is. Sage stuffing for Thanksgiving. I could let this, should have let this come a little more room temperature. It would have been a little easier to spread. Remember that for yourselves. I mean, it's going to be stuffing, so it really doesn't matter that much, does it? So, spin your little butt up here. Pork butt, get it? Ah! There's just nothing I can do about it. I'm sorry. Alright. Cheese. This is nice and room temperature. This has been out since since I put the pork in the fridge. So it's nicely done. All nice and squishy. Put little pieces here and there. I think it's going to make it a little easier. I don't know. Got some other stuff on there which we'll come back to. Best to do by hand, I guess, huh? We're going to be rolling this way. So, just so you know what it's all about. So we really don't need to worry again about 100% coverage. And I need another board, and I can see that right now, to cut the mushrooms with, which I should have done in advance, and I didn't. Let's get some of this stuff out of here. And now you nipping in? Jade smells the sausage and the cheese, driving her crazy. Not really so much a drive as a short putt. rid of some of that gunk. We're going to be doing spinach next. Now spinach is up to you, however much you want on top. Remember, this is going to shrink as it cooks a little bit, so. That's good. That's about a quarter of a bag, give or take. Go and rinse a few shrooms off. Be right back. And once again, I'm going to repeat again myself. If any moron tells you not to wash mushrooms, he's wrong. Mushrooms absorb an infinitesimal amount of water. And I mean infinitesimal, for the very small amount of time that they're under the water. Now these are great for cooking because they absorb the flavors of what you're cooking in, like little sponges. But for the 5 seconds you're underwater, almost nothing. Trying to decide if I want to go this way or this way. I think I want to go this way. Just do another one. Do a little salt and pepper on top of that. Never hurts. Our string to tie with, and away we go. Now I'm going to go this way because I want the big end on the outside. Trust me, I'm a doctor. Now, we got a little hole here, not going to worry about it. Little juicy will get out of there, not a big deal. Now, we're going to truss it. For this one, probably 2, 3, probably 4 times. Always cut more than what you need. We're going to do a surgeon's knot, which is looped over twice. I can count. Jesus. Pull tight. See, it doesn't come loose that way. And yes, I could have used a scissors for that too, and I didn't. Because I got my knife, why dirty something else? 1, 2, tight. Single knot on top. I've got about 1.5 inches between each one, so that should suffice. Got a little bow in that one. I don't know why. Now we're going to use the We're going to use the drippings in our grease pan to make our gravy tomorrow. So, we're going to cut, and cut. Put our shroom back in there, and now we're going to do our bacon. I got shit everywhere. Imagine that. Okay. This is generic thin bacon. We want it thin because we want it to cook and crisp up a little bit. Get out of my way. Now, we're going to basket weave this mother. It's this way. So we're going to take about half. We're going to land this way. Get some space here. We're going to pull back the first layer. Every other piece of bacon, we're going to pull back. I've got two pieces there. What do I do? It's tucked underneath. Doesn't have to be fancy, really. You're using this for flavor and for fat. Okay. Now we go to the opposite ones. This will be easier with thicker, but it won't cook well. But the opposite ones, somehow I screwed that up. There's a shocker for you. Underneath, there we go. Jade, go away. Jade's already to pounce on this boy. That bad boy right along the top. Alright. Let's try to get the two seams together. Oh, Jesus. Once again, it ain't pretty. It doesn't have to be. There we go. It's basically where we want it. Tuck any loose ends in. You can thumbtack, Jesus, toothpick the seam if you want to. I'm not going to. We're going to put this back in the fridge to firm up. So it goes on the grill nice and firm. We're going to do indirect heat tomorrow. Indirect heat. Put in the roast on top of the grill with a drip pan underneath, with the coals on the over here. Nice hot coals. We'll be trying to adjust it to about 325, 350. So we'll be back when we're ready to cook. See you in a bit. Okay, we've been on the grill about 2.5 hours at between 325, 350 in that general area, and there we go. We have potatoes and onions. We've got asparagus over there. And it's raining, of course, because why not? So we're going to get this guy. We're going to get this guy off first. I'm going to have it how I'm going to do that with one hand. Bacon is done nicely, thank God. There we go. We're going to cover with foil for 15 minutes to let it rest and let the juices redistribute, and we'll be back. Okay, we're done. Our rest is done. let's take a look. Now the one thing I forgot about when I made this was I tied the rows together. Probably you don't want to do that because it's really difficult to cut the strings right now. But there it is in all its beauty. You see the cream cheese and the sausage and the spinach and the shrooms are in there too. There's one. So that's it. Until next time, thanks for stopping by and we'll see you.